So what's on my mind this morning is what we don't like to talk about. It's suicide. Because the JCF just 2 days ago released fresh data. And here's the number that jumped out at me. For every 100 Jamaicans who die by suicide, 85 of them are men. For every 100, 85 of them are your sons, your brothers, your fathers. And to just think about that, 85, not 50, not 60, it's basically almost 9 out of every 10 men, or 9 out of every 10 persons that die from suicide are men. And this isn't just about numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, we recorded 67 suicides. And if you check the data, that's the highest in nearly 25 years. And of those numbers, the 67 suicides last year, 61 of them were men. So that's 91%. And up to this year, up to September, the police have already logged 44 suicides. And again, overwhelming majority of them are men. But here's the thing. When we talk about suicide, we often speak in general terms. So mental health services, hotlines, prayer vigils, all of that is important. But if men are the ones overwhelmingly dying, then we have to ask, what is it about being a man in Jamaica that makes you so vulnerable to this kind of silent ending? And let me suggest a few things this morning, because one, there's a pressure to provide. From boyhood, we are told, you are the man of the house, you must provide, you must stand firm. And don't get me wrong, those things are true. But what happens when the job is gone, when inflation bites, when you just can't meet the expectations? For many men, economic failure isn't just financial loss. It's an identity crisis. Mm-hmm. And if your manhood is tied to what you can put on the table, then the shame of not being able to provide can be crushing. But women are also at fault here too, because a lot of men tie their own identities. They approach women on the basis of what they can provide and not what they are. And so that's one of the reasons to my mind as to why there's this pressure in the first place. Then of course, secondly, there's a silence that we demand of men. So boys are taught, let's go back to childhood now, not to cry. Don't cry. You're weak. Don't talk about your feelings. So when a man is hurting deeply, you tell him to hold up his stress. And then when he's feeling that hurt, where does he go? Who does he talk to? Because too often there is nowhere and no one. And so the pain gets bottled up, and then one day the pot just bursts. The bottom just drop out. And then, interestingly, Tana, thirdly, the means of committing suicide. Because I did some research and the studies show that men, when they attempt suicide, they often choose more lethal methods. And those lethal methods, despite women sometimes more frequently attempting suicide, but men are more likely to die from suicide because the means that they choose to do it leaves them with no second chance. And those are some of the reasons why the statistics show what they're showing. And then there's the seasonal and the local spikes that the constabulary force is seeing. Because suicides are now rising in the middle of the year. And in certain parishes like St. Catherine, it is prevalent. So that tells us that there are hidden triggers, maybe local economic pressures, societal breakdowns, but there are some local triggers that are pushing people, and men in particular, over the edge at specific times and sometimes in specific places, specific parishes. And too often when we hear these numbers, the framing is, well, the men just can't handle the stress, they need to toughen up, they're weak. But I want to flip that this morning. Instead of saying that more men are committing suicide, maybe we should be saying society is failing its men. Because the truth is, Jamaican men are not inherently weaker. What they are is boxed in by culture, expectations, and by silence. And when we don't have the safe spaces to talk, when we don't normalize vulnerability, when we tell them that their worth is tied to their paycheck, and when life knocks them down, there's no cushion for them, what do we leave them to do? And so I think we need to start redefining strength as a starter. I am no expert in this field, but I think we need to start redefining strength. Strength isn't just holding everything inside. Strength is admitting when you're not okay. Strength is reaching out for help. Strength is making these things as a society acceptable for men to cry, break down, and have someone to listen to them. And I think we need more men's groups. We need more safe spaces. We need more community interventions. We need more campaigns that put vulnerability on the same platform as resilience. Because we are very resilient as a people. But at the same time, it comes with some vulnerability. We need to link economic support with mental health support. Because when a man loses his job, he doesn't just need a resume workshop. He also needs someone to talk him through the emotional weight of that loss. Ton, I don't know if you've ever heard it from men, but me can tell you, if me broke, me miserable. Mm-hmm. If me broke, me miserable. And the broke might not mean say you have $0 and 0 cents, you know, but your money just tight this month. And once your money tight, you're miserable. You're angry, you don't want nobody to talk to you. So imagine who have it worse. Just imagine those who have it worse. And so I think we need to stop treating this as an individual problem and start seeing it as a collective responsibility. Not just families, but churches, employers, government. I think all of us have a role to play. Because 85 out of every 100 suicides in Jamaica are men. That's not a statistic of weakness. That's a mirror being held up to our society. And while this disproportionately affects the men, the women go through it too. Because 1.5%, almost 2%, it's still too much. It's still too much. The women go through it for different reasons as well. But I can relate because I'm a man. The young lady died by suicide earlier, and there's another suspected one that's being investigated. And the reality is, King Towner, life is hard. Life is hard. People are battling different things from different angles. Let us not let it cost them their lives. Let's try now, as a society, to hold up each other. That's what's on my mind.